All right, GC and Helwani time. Big UFC this weekend. They are in Austin, Texas. You know, Austin is on my very short list of places in the United States that I've not yet been to and that I'd really like to go to. The top three, actually, there used to be a top three. Now it's a top two, but I still consider it a top three, and I'll explain why. Number one was New Orleans, and I went there for like 2 days. The first NBA game I did for ESPN was there, which was cool, but it was pouring rain, and I didn't really get to see much. I did get to have some beignets with the great Mike Breen, incredibly so. I don't even know how that happened, at Café du Monde. Are you familiar with Café du Monde, Frank?
I'm not.
What? You're not familiar with Café du Monde? I mean, the world-famous beignets at Café du Monde?
You know I can't have gluten, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Have you ever been to New Orleans or Nolans?
Yeah, but as a child.
So that's number one. I'd like to go back and spend, a couple of days there, although my first time was pretty crazy. Austin, Texas, and Portland, Oregon. Have you been to either of those?
I've been to Austin several times.
Is Austin as great as people make it out to be?
Maybe if you're in your 20s.
Okay. What about Portland?
Haven't been to Portland. It's on my list.
You ever have the Voodoo Donuts?
Also, those have gluten in them as well.
Yeah, that's right. Also, you've never been to Portland. Anyway, the UFC is going to be in Austin this weekend.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett, Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lozon, Tim Means versus Kevin Holland, Joaquin Buckley against Albert Duryev. Who else is on this? Guram's back. That's cool. Julian Marquez, Adrian Yanez, Court McGee, Jasmine Yasadavicius, Ricardo Ramos, Cody Stamen, Eddie Wineland, Kyle Dawkins, Phil Hawes, Deron Wynn back after retiring briefly late last year. So there's a lot to like. I got to be honest with you guys. I haven't looked at any of the odds. I'm a little bit down on my luck. Quick look here. Oh, there's a lot of MMA going on, isn't there? There's also PFL. Geez Louise, there's a lot going on. I don't have, we're going to go to GC's thing here in a second, but yeah, you got ACA, PFL 4, KSW 71. PFL on next week at the same time as Bellator, which should be interesting. Ooh, the great Clay Collard returning, Cassius Clay. Also, Jeremy Stevens against Miles Price, Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Tan Schultz, Marcin Held. So, yes, a lot to like. I didn't really look at the odds. Let me see here. Cater, Emmett plus 190. That's interesting. Cater looking good. Joe Lozon plus 145. That's interesting. Kevin Holland's a favorite. Just looking here. Any underdogs that I can grace you with? Eddie Wineland plus 400. That's interesting. Deron Wynn plus 210. Not sure where he's at. In any event, there's a lot to like. There's a lot going on. You don't want to hear my picks. No one likes to hear my picks. We want to hear from GC's picks. So I understand he has sent us his picks. Last week, he freaking knocked it out of the park. It was a great video with him live. He was live en direct du Tour Eiffel à Paris. He was standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. He had the microphone. He had the whole setup. He had the hat, the music, the intro. I can't wait. I'm going to sit back here, drink my green tea. I'm going to see what GC has cooked up for us this week. Without further ado, here are his best bets. Oh, yes. I love it. Westphalia, by the way. Someone noticed that. Look at that music. Oh, looks like we're going to Italy. Fitting after Sabatello, right? The Italian gangster. Oh, look at this.
Ciao, Ariel. Hold on. I'll be down in 1 sec.
Oh, this is amazing.
Sorry about that. As you can see, we've made it to the beautiful villa in the Italian countryside. I mean, look at this garden. It's really just a thing of beauty. I thought about doing another hit in front of an Italian monument, something very famous and picturesque, but I heard just the constant belly aching and whining from Mysterious Frank last week in front of the Eiffel Tower. He said the audio was just terrible. So I decided to do him a favor and do it here at my villa in the secluded Tuscan countryside of Italy. As far as Italy goes, a little more somber last week heading into UFC 275. They were supposed to see the Italian Dream Marvin Vettori fight. Unfortunately, that fight got called off. Now they have to wait till September. So they were a little sad not to see their prodigal son fight last week, but that's all gone now. A new energy has completely swept across this country. All of Italy is on fire as we look towards UFC Austin. The whole country, they won't stop talking about it. So I don't want to make this beautiful country wait any longer. Let's get right into the picks. Last week, another rough week for me. Joanna Zhang, that knockout hurt me bad, but hopefully we can find ourselves back in the green this week. I mean, we're just hemorrhaging units over here in Europe, so I am hoping that this is going to be a green week. Let's get right into it. First up, also, bear with me here on the lines. Took these weeks ago before I left the States.
Wait, can we pause it right there? Can we pause
it? Night over.
Yes, I'm happy you said that because then you're going to get people who say, ew, where did these lines come from? Show us your slips, bro. Ew. Okay, please continue.
I think it's that voice that's breaking the microphone.
Please continue.
Roman deletes 3-1 in the UFC, but all 3 of his wins are against people cut from the roster, and they have a combined UFC record of 2-10-1. Next up, Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. Should be a great fight while it lasts, but I think RoboCop more well-rounded. I think he gets it done here.
I think he's reading
Then we'll take Demir's Magulov over Garam. This low-key could be the fight of the night. Cannot wait for this one. I think whoever you bet on, you're going to come out a winner, but I hope I'm actually a winner, cashing a ticket on Demir. Lastly, main event, Calvin Kattar. He looked great against Giga. Was on the wrong side there. Won't make the same mistake again here. I think he gets it done against Josh Emmett. Said I wasn't going to add anything else in my tweet, but forgot Cerrone Lozon was on this card. Had the under 2.5 a couple months ago when they were supposed to fight. Have it again here. Don't think this one lasts long. I think we cashed the under 2.5 with relative ease. Then 2 parlays for you. Cody Stamann and Adrian Yanez. Juiced up, but I like them both to win. Then Phil Haas, the size and reach is going to be too much for Deron Wynn. And then Kevin Holland. I mean, how can I bet against a local superhero?
That's right.
All right, that's all I've got this week. 5 singles.
Wow.
2 parlays. Put a lot of strings to get you on this villa. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week in the States. Arrivederci.
Wow. What a cannonball. That was I mean, can we just give it up for GC? Can we get some clapping? What do we got, Frank? Anything? I mean, that is amazing. I think that one was better than the first one. There were multiple locations in that one. First on the balcony, then down the balcony, then in the pool.
That's very observant.
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time to recap it all in my brain. Very, very impressive stuff. And again, shout out to the camera man or woman. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to say who was taking it? It looked like it was like on a it looked like a full like multicam shoot.
I think his girlfriend could be considered a tripod, right?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I know she's like a big TV star as well. So I wasn't sure if we were allowed. I mean, you just went ahead and revealed it. For a mysterious guy, I mean, you just kind of came out with that information.
We don't know if it's her or not.
Oh, you're just saying, okay, in general. I mean, who knows? Maybe they think she's, at the office right now. So I didn't want to, there's probably people watching like, wait a second, what?
Yes, her employers are watching the show.
Actually, I mean, just on Monday, we had someone who works at the same place as her text me saying that they were watching. Do you remember that whole exchange?
I do. And there'll be more details.
Beep, 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 beep. That's the sound of Mysterious Frank backtracking, but the camera angles were great, the shot was great, and GC once again coming through. Great picks overall. I made a promise to myself that I'm, as far as like an HDAO, I'm never going to go against him because he knows a hell of a lot more than me when it comes to this stuff. And last week we went against him. So while I was maybe thinking for a moment there, Emmett underdog, he went with Kattar. I can't do it. I don't have it in me right now, if I'm being honest. Now, the intro, you think that was custom? Because there was someone on Twitter who said, wow, look at the detail. There's even a Westphalia, which I have talked about wanting to buy at some point. It's like a bucket list thing for me. And GC kind of said like, yeah, like, cool. Yeah, thanks for noticing. If we go back to the intro, do you think he actually customized that? Or do you think that, let's take a look here.
No.
Do you think this is a generic thing that he, I mean,
He
there's,
found an asset, and
look, there's a Westphalia right there.
there's also a palm tree.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a camel. My family's from Egypt.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of connections there. What about that villa? That looks incredible. I have to be honest, looks way nicer than wherever we're at here in New York City. I mean, New York is great and all, but that seems pristine, serene, right?
It is quite
Heavenly. Are you jealous?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Great food. You can't have any because you don't eat gluten.
That's right.
Could you have gluten-free pasta? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same. Pizza?
Okay, I'm not actually gluten free.
Oh, you're not?
No.
What, who
Just
makes a
didn't-
joke about that?
Well, because you were like, "Oh, you haven't heard of this place?" After I said no.
That's a bizarre thing to joke about. Really?
Well,
Which place? What was the place? Oh, New Orleans? Oh, the
Yeah.
beignet?
yeah.
So your go-to is to just lie in that moment.
Yeah. I'll learn from the best.
Frank, what happened to the microphone during that incredible interview?
Pretty sure that you
I did not.
For instance, where's the laugh mic right now? I'm pretty sure I heard it fall on the ground. It's on the ground, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Like, even when I listen to it, it
No,
sounds like a microphone on the ground.
It's on the thingy here. Well, what do you want me to do? Hold it? You want me to put it on?
I mean, that was the idea.
All right, fine. I'll put it on. All right. Well, great stuff there from GC. Them's the picks. They'll be online as well. I think he actually tweeted them, and I think he had all of them except for the Cerrone one there, but he mentioned that as well. And we look forward to his return. Now, we won't see him next week because we're going to be off next week, like I said, but we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So that will be the week of International Fight Week. What's that Monday?
The 27th?
27th. What are you going to do on the off week?
Find other work to do.
No breaks for you?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Not a single thing. No vacation.
I might sleep in.
No beach. No
None of it.
parties.
None of it.
None of it. All right. Much respect. I'll be in Canada. Have you ever been to Canada?
No.
Wow.
But I did see
You need
it.
to start living, brother.
I was in Washington and got to see the Victoria Islands across the from the window. That was kind of cool.
The what?
There's such thing as a Victoria Islands, right? I didn't just make that up.
Oh, like Victoria, British Columbia?
Correct.
Got it.
So I got to see them.
Yeah, no. British Columbia is beautiful. Victoria, British Columbia, home of the great Steve Nash, two-time MVP. Anyway, thank you to GC. Safe travels home. Enjoy the rest of your trip. Thank you for doing that, by the way. No one asked him to do that. Told him he could take the 2 weeks off, but shows the kind of commitment that he has for the program, and we appreciate that more than we know. Like, if Frank went away, I wouldn't hear from him for 2 weeks, right? I mean, you would just be like, fend for
Damn
yourself.
straight. Yep.
New York Rick's been away. I mean, he's like, you know, what's your hat? Here's your hurry. Something like that. I don't know what the saying is. How's your hat? Here's your hurry. What is the saying?
I've never heard that saying.